Greetings and welcome to our Thursday Jane Live Miracle Medicine. Today we're talking about part 3, which is looking at too much sugar. And one of the reasons that I've decided to talk on sugars in part 3, having already done nutritional minerals and having already done nutritional proteins. Don't think that the body doesn't need sugar at all. It absolutely does need sugar, but which kind of sugars and which are the healthy sugars? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's fire ahead. There's the main glucose molecule, which is from cane sugar, and that needs to be broken down into sucrose, the smaller particle of glucose, and that requires an enzyme called sucrase, sucrase, sucrase. Now, many people don't produce that enzyme, and they don't know about it, and they consume a lot of cane sugar, which is never broken down into sucrose. The glucose remains the main molecule, which is not actually absorbed by the intestine. However, when there are holes in the intestine, the glucose molecules enters the bloodstream directly. So either it passes out and makes your urine very sweet, and or it'll get absorbed via leaky gut situations and hang around in the bloodstream and damage the body, interfering with the pancreas, the insulin secretion, and the whole metabolic system of the body, creating insulin resistance and creating a high blood sugar, diabetes, etc. Sugar is not the only cause of diabetes. Let's also get that straight. We need lots of oxygen. We need lots of exercise. We need sunshine. We need water. We need earthing. And we need to be joyful. We also need to remove the emotions that cause the diabetes. Usually diabetes is caused by an extreme shock. For example, your daughter died. The father left the home. The mother left the home. You were adopted. Example, a very extreme shock like that, and interrupted reaching out, put it that way, that can also bring on sugar diabetes. In other words, you urinate out the sweetness of your life. And remember, the kidneys are responsible for balancing positive and negative, happy and sad. And if there's imbalance, then if there's imbalance in the emotions, there's going to be imbalance also in the amount of sugar and what is released by the kidneys. So getting back to, very importantly, what I've started with, which is cane sugar. So it is the root cause of blood sugar levels. I've often said on many of my talks, why don't they talk about blood sucrose levels? Because it's actually the sucrose that does get absorbed, like the amino acid gets absorbed, not the protein. You'll find big protein chunks, undigested chunks in the blood again through a leaky gut situation, which will accumulate in the lymph and so on. Watch last week's talk on proteins. So same thing with the sugar. Then it basically blocks the liver functioning and then the kidney functioning. So it's very dangerous. And this is the cane sugar, the sucrose, which is broken down, which I'm telling you from the QUX-ED devices that I use. Most people don't have sucrase enzyme. In fact, if you pick up a bottle of digestive enzymes, we have them here, you're not going to find sucrase. So I don't know why I'm not asking questions. That just is what it is. So cane sugar is a problem. Because of the high glycemic index, it shoots the blood sugar up. I'm going to say blood sugar, blood glucose and blood sucrose levels up artificially high, unnecessarily high, and puts the whole metabolic system out of balance. That's cane sugar. All right. And you will find that in sweets. You will find it in, let's just have a look here quickly. I've put the picture here where we've got sugar cubes and honey. Honey's a different sugar. But basically, let's have a look and see what this does for us. So here's, for example, too much sugar. This is cane sugar. You also get a corn sugar, modified starch sugar, same thing. A lot of the athletes consume corn syrup. I remember I did when I ran the long ultra marathons and things. Little did I know when I was 21. But you also get a corn sugar. So you'll get lots and lots of modified sugars in different guises and, different labels on your boxes and your bottles. So you're not really sure what you're consuming. But everything in this picture is straight cane sugar. And for example, in this slide here, you're having a look at, bad sugars and good sugars. So obviously fruit is very good. Fruit would be a fructose. This is all sucrose. This will be fructose. Sorry, I just want to see if someone was telling me they couldn't hear something. Here is all the fructose. Milk has got galactose. In it, raisins would be fructose as well. These are our carrots, for example, quite a sweet vegetable. Root vegetable. So these would be much slower absorbing into the bloodstream. If you consume these sugars with a little bit of oil, a little bit of protein, it will slow down the absorption into the bloodstream, which slows down the spike. So fructose is always a better option. And then you get other sugars, namely, as I said, galactose, which is found in milk and all milk products. You will then get N-acetyl galactose, N-acetyl glutamine. So these are all also sugars that are bound by an amino acid, it's normally synthetic, still sugar, and they get absorbed into the body, into the bloodstream. So be careful if you're taking things like N-acetyl galactose. This basically synthetic form of sugar. Dangerous. Not, the body won't recognize it. It's not in the quantum structure. It's synthetic. At the end of the day, it's synthetic. And, we've got to be careful of these synthetic sugars, including the cane sugar, because, it can be considered a drug to children, this amount of sugar. And anybody who's had children or observed children at a party where they've consume too much sugar, they're out of themselves. They don't sleep well, they don't eat dinner that night, and they cry, and they're not happy people. So we can actually see what sugar does. We know it ourselves as well. And then you also get other sugars. For example, the corn sugar, which I did speak about. These are all short chain sugars, if I want to put it that way, mannose. Short chain sugar. These are the ones that the cancers love. Feed off it day in and day out. That's why they're always warning people but are presenting in a cancer form, get off the sugars. But we can always do that already. We don't have to wait for a disaster or a wake-up call. Very, very important to know, which the really good sugars are that are going to help us. You also get other sugars, and I'm just going to find my slide there. Yes. N-acetyl acid, N-acetyl glucosamine. That's all sugar. And they give it to people to heal the gut and to heal the brain. And I don't think people really know what they're doing. Xylose, let's talk about xylitol. They warn you not to give it to your dogs because it can cause death in dogs. So then why, for heaven's sake, would humans take it? There's a good one, Stevia. That's quite good. You can also get a nice sweetness from aloe, the aloes. And that's what we need to look at. But honestly, we consume way too much sugar. Honey's good. Honey's got the enzymes that slow release. A teaspoon of honey a day you can literally live on that. But remember with honey not to use a metal spoon, because a metal spoon will kill the enzymes. That's why you always see honey with a wooden spoon. Let me just go back to that picture. Beginning picture previous. Let me see here. Yeah, there we go. So that's why you always see. So I hope you've all got a honey spoon like that, because that's how honey should be used. And never put honey into boiling hot water, tea, coffee. It must be, just a warm, just above room temperature. Otherwise, the honey will become toxic to the body as well, completely denatured. So the beehive is at blood temperature, 37 degrees. When they come and take the honey out of my hives, it's just such a delicious moment. And the honey comes out, they spin it with centrifugal force, there's no heating. And to taste that honey at its natural temperature, fresh out of the hives, is really an experience. So there's lots of ways if you're wanting to come off sugar. First of all, do it, tell your brain you're getting off it. And then if you're still looking for a bit of sweetness because it's an old pattern, or if you're loaded with parasites, if they're going to drive you down the chocolate aisle in the supermarket because they want it, because that's what they live on, and their colony suddenly threatened. So be aware, we've got to nail the parasites always. I'm always talking about nailing the parasites. They are the fundamental number one thing to clean the body of. Yes, also heavy metals, mercuries, plutoniums, radiums, nuclear reactive. Yes, that's also got to come out. The graphenes have got to come out, all of that. But the number one is the parasites. So people say, well, how long do I take the cell vitality? How long do I take DMSO? How long do I take Periimmune? How long do I take the beneficial microbiome reset with all the 80 to 120 live beneficial organisms? You simply take it forever. There's no end, because the body needs it constantly, and we're constantly being exposed to parasites. They are everywhere. You put your phone down, you catch a plane, you go to a bathroom in a shopping center or at a restaurant, you've touched the handle. They're everywhere. You can breathe them in, they're in the foods, and so on. Best thing is to get a microscope and you can actually see all of this. So very important, as I say, that we are made very aware of sugar. It's the number one thing often added to convenience foods, apart from heated oil. And loads of it, and we just get used to it and more used to it. And yeah, it's mainly used for its flavor, put it that way. I remember when we were little, we used to take the flower from the honeysuckle bush, and that was very sweet. That was beautiful as well. And all our lovely fruits that are full of sugar. This next slide here. So loads of opportunities to get sugar. Too much sugar will also come out in the body in rashes, in irritation, and the parasites come out at the same time. So you really can get very, very itchy as well. People who stop sugar, it's almost like stopping anything excitable to the body, like a caffeine, too much normal tea. Feel different. You start feeling completely centered and within yourself. Sugar will displace us, so will coffee. Hang on, I just did plug this in. Why is it not in? There you go. Just got back from Cape Town, so the plug wasn't in. Sorry. Lots and lots of options, and you feel very good when you go off these things. And we are human, and we're going to consume because, sweets from heaven. Sweets do take us to another level inside our brains, another dimension. And, people that need to be revived, some of our cancer people, they get honey because it works. So honey is amazing. And even for diabetics, I'm not saying go overboard, but it's just weird. It's contradictory, but it does work. So let's move now to the good long chain sugars that actually feed the brain. And the brain has to have these. Okay, otherwise you're going to be searching for sugar for the rest of your life. Same as if you don't have a good cold-pressed flaxseed oil, you will be searching for oils, fried food for the rest of your life. You will order a toasted cheese at the drop of a hat. You will order fried food at a drop of that, because the body's looking for oils. but it's not looking for heated oil. It's looking for cold pressed black seed oil, all the omegas and so on, cold pressed. Remember, any fish oil is heated. So getting back to sugars, again, the body will look for sugar if the brain's not satisfied. The brain's looking. So what have we got in the 365 Healthy by Choice range? And I always come back to this because I just feel that it's, such a good toolkit for all of us. Okay, so I'm going to start off with medicinal mushrooms. We have 6 in here. And we're looking at Reishi mushrooms, Chaga, Shiitake, Maitake, lion's mane, and we also have a Coriolus. So we have 6 medicinal mushrooms. Actually, we have 7 at 365 Healthy by Choice. You can choose. You can either take a combination. Remember potentiation, because they all work differently. So you will get 1 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 9. If you take all 6 together, and these have got the long chain sugars that the brain needs. So any child with ADD, concentration, any adult also with focus problems, focus, etc., you need the long chain sugars. Medicinal mushrooms, wonderful. Lion's mane, especially for the brain. Just by the way, they all work for the brain, but especially that one, it actually encourages brain stem cells, production of brain stem cells. So phenomenal. If you get in the sun, always these medicinal mushrooms, the algae, the bee pollens are potentiated. The sun activates them, in your blood and in your cells, and you're getting so much more accelerated nutrient in the body, higher life force. If you get in the sun, step on the earth after you've taken these medicinal mushrooms. So those are great, long chain sugars, and they will definitely satisfy any sugar craving whatsoever. We've also got brain fuel and stress defense shield. We've also got these in the smoothies. Remember, some people just love those smoothies to death. We mix it with coconut oil, a bit of flaxseed oil, some berries, some soaked almonds, and that's a meal in one. But these 2 products have got over 30 nutrients. They definitely have all 6 medicinal mushrooms, and they have the blue-green algae, spirulina, and the chlorella. They have 3 algae. They also have kelp. So all of those nutritional foods, we mentioned them last week, all of them have complete proteins, and all of them have long-chain sugars. All of them are mineral rich, all of them are vitamin rich, all of them are phytosterol rich. So these are foods on their own, meals on their own, basically. You can go to a restaurant and you can take 4 or 6 brain fuels, medicinal mushrooms, stress defense shields, and you've actually got a complete meal there with your salad with the proteins. So you don't have to always order meat. I'm just saying. The stem cells, Activa stem cells, the reason I'm showing you this one is because this one has got blue-green algae, lion's mane, cordyceps, foti, and royal jelly. And these are, apart from the foti, the other 4 products are pure long-chain sugars, in addition to proteins and all the rest of it. So here you're getting a wonderful long-chain sugar for the brain. Here we've got the royal jelly from the beehive. So apart from honey with all its enzymes and so on, you're getting a long-chain sugar here. You're getting a long-chain sugar with the bee pollen and all the enzymes and everything that goes with it. Yum. And we've got a bee mix. It's got the pollen, propolis, and the royal jelly. And we also have the propolis on its own. So any of these wonderful long-chain sugars, protein-rich, nutritional foods are available individually as well. And I do use them also interchangeably. For example, in the kidneys, I'll put reishi and cordyceps. In the lung, I will put cordyceps. In the brain fuel, we'll put a lot of lion's mane and the others. So I do use them interchangeably where they need to be extra strong. Just so that you know as well, a blue-green algae, you get the AFA blue-green algae from Lake Klamath. You also get spirulina, which is blue-green algae. You can see it because when you mix it in a glass, it's blue-green. So spirulina, blue-green algae will balance blood sugar for you. And so will the medicinal mushrooms and the pollens and things. So actually, these long-chain sugars will balance your blood sugar for you too. And they will reduce the cravings, and they will give you, a brain on. Basically, your brain will just develop. And from a concentration point of view and a focus point of view, I always use these. I will use them with like a Siberian ginseng for children with the ADD. So I'll use the lion's mane, the blue-green algae, the Siberian ginseng. That's a wonderful combination. Works instantly with the probiotics, flaxseed oil. Where if it's an adult that's got extreme mental fatigue, tiredness, I'll use the Korean Panax ginseng with the lion's mane and the blue-green algae too. So it's wonderful across the board. Here's our kelp. And I've just been to the lovely Cape Town and seeing all the kelp swaying in the sea. So kelp as well has got long-chain sugar. So the choices are there. If you satisfy the cell's hunger for nutrients, like flaxseed oil, like the long-chain sugars, you won't crave things. You will walk past the sweet owl. You will walk past the cakes. And so on. So I hope that I've given you a good introduction to what we need to be looking at. I'm just going to go to my last slide here and show you what we've just spoken about. Here are the sugars. So see what's on your shelf, see what you need. My May specials are ending at end of May. It's the 23rd today, so you've got about a week left. Go and have a look on checkout. The discount is applied. Not everything's there, but you will find some. And if you don't worry, there's always another month coming up. You go to www.365healthybychoice.com. You press the sale items, have a look, and then you search in the search bar or on any of the pull-down menus. So you can't go wrong here. Yes, you can mix and match. You can take medicinal mushrooms twice a week, the pollen bee mix, for example, twice a week, the algae mix twice a week, kelp once a week, and you're getting some fantastic nutrients into your body, wonderful molecules, and just steer away from the amino acid chelated foods on any level, whether it's a mineral, whether it's an amino acid, whether it's a sugar. And honestly, I would steer away from the white crystalline cane sugar. For sure, all the holes in the teeth, and just another thing that's really interesting is if you do have diabetes, carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates have got a higher glycemic than straight sugar. So for example, white rice or white bread is worse for you than cane sugar directly. It's the worst. So why do they put all the diabetic people onto carbohydrates? No one knows. So that's my bundle for today. Just wanted to really touch base and give you some info. I will, as usual, put this onto YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel, Jane Mackenzie. There's loads of educational videos there. I love teaching. I want the world to know, and more is coming. Much, much more is coming. And I hope you found this inspiring, and like it, subscribe, and also leave your comments. Thanks so much. Have a good one.